So last class, I gave you an idea about what electronegativity is, right? Do you remember electronegativity?
Yes, sir.
Acha. So, just in simple words, can anybody explain me what electronegativity is? Because I did not give you the exact definition. So, just in simple words, can anybody explain what electronegativity is?
The measure of how an atom attracts the sharing pair of electrons.
ठीक है sir, very good, yes.
Tendency of attracting electrons.
And strength with which they attract electrons. So types of covalent bonds depending on the electronegativity difference. Electronegativity difference. Number one is non-polar bond. Number one is non-polar bond. So non-polar bond is basically যাদের electronegativity difference is less between 0 to less than 0.5. Electronegativity difference 0 to less than 0.5. Example holo hydrogen. They're like twin brothers. Twin brothers, আমরা ধরে নিই যে twin brothers, they look identical twin brothers, they look alike, they have the same physique, they eat same, they dress same, they eat same, ওদের অনেক similarity আছে. So hydrogen and hydrogen, they're like twin brothers. So hydrogen যেই energy strength দিয়ে it will pull this paired electrons, this hydrogen will also pull the shared pair of electron with the same amount of force, right? So electron gula ki, will it be deviated to any specific atom? No, it will stay at the center. তার মানে we call this a non-polar bond. Our polar bond হলো এমন একটা covalent bond which has an electronegativity difference between 0.6 to less than 2. ধরো যে hydrogen or oxygen. So here oxygen is more powerful than hydrogen. এর জন্য oxygen tends to attract the shared pair of electrons towards oxygen. So it no more stays at the center. So এরকম যদি একটা bond হয়, it was supposed to be at the center, but electrons are now more towards the oxygen atom. So when there's an electronegativity difference between two atoms, we call this a polar bond. So next is, if I have an electronegativity difference of more than 2, তখন কি হবে?
Ionic bond.
Very good. So তখন there will not be sharing electrons anymore. There will be complete transfer of electrons. There won't be sharing of electrons anymore. There would be complete transfer of electron. And then what do we call that?
Ionic bond.
Ionic bond.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, can I say that non-polar bonds exist only between two atoms of the same element?
You're partially right, but you're not completely right. কারণ আমি বলে দিছি যে if they exactly if মানে exactly if they have identical atoms তাহলে তো সব সময় জিরো হবে। বাট তুমি ধরো যে carbon and hydrogen also shows a non-polar bond. Carbon and hydrogen also has a non-polar bond because the electronegativity difference is less than 0. Could I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
স্যার
হ্যাঁ বলো।
তার মানে নন পোলার বন্ড আর পোলার বন্ড দুইটাই তো কোভালেন্ট বন্ডিং এর মধ্যে পড়ে।
দুইটাই কোভ্যালেন্ট বন্ডিং এর মধ্যে পড়ে। So covalent bonding মানে কি? They're sharing of electrons. But when the difference is too large, তখন they cannot share electrons. There's complete transfer of electrons, and then that's when we call it a ionic bonding. হ্যাঁ ওয়াসিমা কি বললা?
Like atoms কি?
Like atoms কি? Where's কোথায় like atoms? Like atoms. Hey, like atoms মানে same type of atoms. A covalent bond formed between two like or / same type of atoms.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
ডিফারেন্টও তো হবে না।
হ্যাঁ, তো ওইটা আমরা নেক্সট স্টেপে মানে স্টেপ সো এখানে আমরা রেঞ্জটা লিখে দিই। So dative covalent bond is dative covalent bond is basically, let's compare it with a normal covalent bond. So normal covalent bond এ কি হয়? তোমার so nitrogen and hydrogen is donating 1 electron, nitrogen is donating 1 electron. So in a covalent bond, each of the atoms are donating 1 electron each. Each of the atom is donating 1 electron each. So এটা হলো covalent bond. আর dative covalent bond হলো when both the electrons needed for covalent bond is donated by one single atom. So suppose we have a nitrogen here, which has 5 electrons.
So should we write this?
লাগবে না।
Oh, thank God.
First, understand. So this is NH3. This is NH3. NH3 te how many pairs of electrons? How many bond pairs are there?
3.
How many bond pairs are there?
3. 3.
How many lone pairs are there?
3.
1.
1.
Hey, তোমরা তো smart. অনেক তাড়াতাড়ি পারছো. Very good. So there's 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair. Okay? আচ্ছা। So আমি একটা question জিজ্ঞেস করব randomly. আনাফ শিকদার, আনাফ শিকদারকে বের করে দাও তো, or camera off. Okay. Anushka Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So a hydrogen ion, how many electrons does it have in the last shell?
1. Wait, iron has 2.
Ion has 2.
Iron has 2 electrons, yeah.
Ion has 2 electrons. Is she right? Daniel Murad? Amra, unfortunately, we lost another Daniel. He has dropped chemistry.
Sir, I'm here.
I know. Yeah.
No, sir, it has like no electrons. H plus. So.
It has no electrons, exactly. H plus. It has 0 electrons. It has 0 electrons. Acha. Next question to Daniel Murad is, how many shells does a hydrogen have?
Sir, 1.
1. So the first shell can hold up to how many electrons?
Sir, 2.
So hydrogen ion has no electrons. So if he wants to form a covalent bond, can he donate an electron?
Sir, a hydrogen atom or an ion?
A hydrogen ion.
Sir, it has 0 electrons, so it cannot.
It has 0 electrons, so it cannot. So what can it do to form an covalent bond? So the nitrogen, which has a lone pair sitting idle, donates both the electrons to this hydrogen. So what do we call this? A dative
Covalent bond.
covalent bond. And tell what are these?
These are just covalent bonds.
Simple covalent bond. This is dative covalent bond. So is everybody clear about dative covalent bond?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So why does nitrogen give electrons to the hydrogen ion?
Because hydrogen ion does not have any electron, and nitrogen has a free pair of electron which is just sitting idle. So it just donates the electron pair to hydrogen ion.
Sir, where did the hydrogen ion come from?
Where did it?
Where did the
Yeah.
hydrogen ion come from?
Where did it come from? It came from some other source. এটা তোমার জানা দরকার নেই। অ্যামোনিয়া যখন হাইড্রোজেন ক্লোরাইডের সাথে রিঅ্যাক্ট করে, it forms NH4 plus Cl minus. Now you understand where hydrogen ion is coming from.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Ajman Haidar, তোমার কি গ্রাফিক্স ট্যাব আছে নাকি?
হ্যাঁ, ওটাই তো ইউজ করি।
Oh wow, তুমি what do you do with that?
ওয়ান নোটে নোট নেই,
নোট নেওয়ার জন্য তুমি ট্যাব কিনে ফেলছো?
ট্যাবটা আগে থেকে ছিল, আমি ইউজ করছি।
এটা কি, which company? Wacom?
ওয়াকম, ইন্টোস
Intuos.
এম।
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Iron, right? It's like the whole molecule. It's a stable octet. Why is there still a plus? Like I didn't
Why
get
is
it. Why is
there?
there still an ion?
Why is
Ammonia.
there a still? Why is it an ion? Okay.
Yeah.
So hydrogen kinto it's temporarily donating the electrons to that. It's a very unstable structure. It's still considered to be an ion.
কিন্তু আয়ন হওয়ার তো কোনো রিজন নাই না
Yeah.
Obviously এখানে তো nitrogen is donating electrons, but hydrogen itself does not have any electron, so it's still a ion, right? এখানে তো hydrogen has no role to play in covalent bonding. It's still an ion.
তাই বলে পুরো জিনিসটা আয়ন
পুরো জিনিসটা ion. NH4 plus ion.
despite the hydrogen having two shells in its orbital.
Yeah. So we were studying covalent bonding. So we studied covalent bonding is basically the attraction between the nucleus and the shared pair of electron. Attraction between the nucleus and the shared pair of electron. তারপর আর আমরা পড়েছিলাম যে types of bond. Single covalent bond, double covalent bond, triple covalent bond. So single covalent bond e tomader how many pairs of electrons are shared?
One pair. One pair of electrons.
One pair of electrons are shared. Double covalent bond?
Pair.
Two pairs. Triple covalent bond?
Three pairs.
Three pairs.
Total
Okay.
6.
So total 6. And then we also studied
Types of covalent bond depending on the electron.
then we studied types of covalent bond according to electronegativity difference, actual or non-polar bond, non-polar bond, and then polar bond. So non-polar bond আর polar bondের difference কি বলতে পারবা?
Non-polar হচ্ছে covalent bond between same atoms, and polar bond is the covalent bond between different atoms.
No, same atoms কিন্তু আমি পরে বলছি যে it could be different atoms, but electronegativity difference has to be less than 0.5.
For non-polar bonds?
Then 0.2.
Their non-polar bonds are less than 0.5, and they both atoms attract the electron pair equally. Polar bonds are the ones with electronegativity from 0.6 to less than 2, and electrons are shared unequally since the more electronegative atom pulls the electron pair closer to it.
Yes, great. So that's non-polar bond and polar bond, and we also studied about coordinate bonding, right? Coordinate bonding. Coordinate bonding. So coordinate bonding আমাদের what did we study?
It's that the one atom provides both the electrons.
Yes, এখানে in the covalent bond, both the electrons are donated by only one atom. One atom, not one electron. So we have ammonia. Ammonia-te there is a free pair of electron. A free pair of electron, what do we call them?
Lone pair.
Lone pair. Lone pair. And this bond, etake ki boli amra?
Bond pair.
Bond pair. This is lone pair. So both the lone pairs are donated to a hydrogen ion. So hydrogen ion, the reason they can accept both the electrons is because they have no electrons at all. They have no electrons at all. So ejonno they can accept both the electrons. So this bond is known as the dative covalent bond. Okay, sir.
স্যার
হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ বলো।
আরেকটা এক্সাম্পল দেখাবেন?
আরেকটা এক্সাম্পল হবে aluminium chloride. So aluminium chloride is an electron deficient compound. এখানে there is a pair of electron, এখানে there is a pair of electron, এখানে there is a pair of electron. So aluminium has how many electrons in the last shell? 3, and they are sharing 3. So how many in total? 6. আচ্ছা, এখন আরেকটা অ্যালুমিনিয়াম ক্লোরাইড নাও। aita aluminum chloride. Guys, can you please keep everybody, can you keep your mics on mute, please? So this lone pair can be donated to this aluminium. Okay, sir. So this is also an example of dative covalent bond.
Sir, এটা কি হলো বুঝি নাই।
This is one aluminium molecule, aluminium chloride molecule. This is another aluminium chloride molecule. So aluminium has a deficient in a pair of electron. It is deficient in a pair of electron. Okay, sir. So arekta aluminium chloride where chlorine into they have free lone pairs. How many electrons does chlorine have in the last shell? 7. So tar bhitore only one of them is taking part or is participating in bonding. What about the rest 3 pairs? What are they called? They are lone pairs. So they are lone pairs. So lone pairs gula, they are sitting idle. So ora they donate a pair of electron to this aluminium. As a result, this aluminium chloride now has a full outer shell.
Sir, but what happens to the other molecule that donated 2 electrons? Like, doesn't that become positive instead of neutral?
So
electrons so share.
I'm showing you the diagram. Can you see it now? Can you see the diagram? Yes, so ekhane dekho, this aluminium has 2, 4, 6 electrons. It's deficient in 2. This aluminium has 2, 4, 6 electrons. It's deficient in 2. So এই ক্লোরিনটা, this chlorine, this chlorine is donating an electron to this one, and this chlorine is donating an electron to this one. তাহলে এটা কি হলো? Now is both the aluminum chlorides full?
Yes, miss. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Question. It might be a very dumb question, but like flow.
ঠিক আছে, বুঝছো তোমরা?
Sir, একটা question ছিল.
হ্যাঁ বলো।
Sir, why can't the like chlorine atom from like the same molecule donate like four electrons? I mean like 3 electrons. Like অন্য একটা মানে অ্যালুমিনিয়াম কে ডোনেট না করে why couldn't the chlorine atom মানে আরো 2টা ইলেকট্রন
মানে এই যে like this?
Yeah.
Oh, because structurally it's not feasible. Structurally it's not আমরা will study about the shapes of the molecules. Hopefully তখন your question would be answered.
Okay.
Achha. So can you please draw this aluminum chloride? Since আমরা পড়ে ফেলছি, draw both of it.
Sir, do we also write the notes?
No, just draw for coordinate bonding. This is another example. So just draw this example for coordinate bonding.
Okay.